more than 4,000 years ago, before the Bible, before Homer, there was a story carved in stone, lost in time, and rescued from the dust of oblivion. Beneath the sands of Mesopotamia, in the ruins of a forgotten king's palace, thousands of clay tablets lay in silence. But among them, 7 held a secret. An epic that dared to challenge the god and fate itself. The name of the king was Gilgamesh, half human, half divine. Consumed by glory and by the fear of death, together with his faithful companion, he journeyed to the ends of the world in search of the one thing no one has ever achieved: immortality. Was it just a myth, or a true echo from the deepest corners of the human soul? The oldest story ever told is about to awaken. In the mid-19th century, science opened a window into our past, into the legacy of ancestors who laid the foundations of our civilization. Interest in the Sumerians. What was very likely the oldest human civilization was definitively consolidated. In the 1830s, British soldier Henry Rawlinson achieved the impossible. He deciphered the writing that this ancient people had gifted to the world. Thanks to the inscriptions of Utnapishtim carved high into a sheer Iranian cliff, the linguist was able to translate the mysterious The deciphering of cuneiform writing had been completed. For the first time in history, we could understand what those ancestral writings, previously silent and unintelligible, were telling us about the cradle of civilization. The past of the Sumerian people suddenly became meaningful. A lost world began to speak again. Hundreds of expeditions arrived in the lands of Uruk, the birthplace of the ancient Mesopotamian civilizations. For decades, archaeologists uncovered texts, temples, and treasures once belonging to this mysterious culture. And then, everything led to a moment. The spring of 1872. Near Mosul, in northern Iraq, a team of archaeologists was sent to uncover the secrets buried within the ancient city of Nineveh. Once the glorious capital of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, a city mentioned in the Bible, a city that they believed still had many stories to tell. Led by Hermust Rassam and Austin Henry Laird, the expedition aimed to recover the lost memories of a forgotten world veiled by the sands of time. And then it happened. Digging through the ruins, they made a discovery unlike any other. They had found the palace of Ashurbanipal, the last great king of Assyria. For the first time in thousands of years, human footsteps echoed through the halls where royalty once walked. A palace that dated back to the 7th century BC, an astonishing find on its own. But it wasn't the only one. Inside the ruins, they discovered a hidden corridor. A path that led through blocked rooms and winding hallways, Pushing through the darkness, the archaeologists reached a chamber that would change history forever. The Palace Library, a royal archive, untouched for centuries, filled with thousands of artifacts. Thousands of cuneiform tablets, preserved inside the oldest known library in the world. The stories of humanity's first civilization revealed before their eyes. The library of Ashurbanipal was in surprisingly good condition. More than 15,000 clay tablets, each inscribed with ancient knowledge, waited like sleeping giants in the shadows, a priceless gift from our ancestors, finally brought into the light. And now, it was time to read them. To discover what had waited patiently in the dark. At the request of the British Museum, the task of translation was given to George Smith, an English Assyriologist and expert in the lost language of the Sumerians. For months, he immersed himself in the texts, day after day decoding the words of kings and scholars. He unveiled the voice of an ancient world. The tablets contained an astonishing range of texts. Primitive scientific treatises, royal letters, sacred hymns. But then, something happened. Something that would change everything. Among the many tablets, there were 7 that stood apart. 7 clay tablets that told a myth. A story unlike any ever found. From the very beginning, it was recognized as the oldest known literary work in human history. George Smith had discovered the Epic of Gilgamesh. 5 poetic fragments written around 2100 BC, telling the tale of a powerful king who, in his desperate search for immortality, ventured to the very ends of the earth. Was it just a myth, or a memory carved in clay that had waited over 4,000 years to be heard again?